Now, the UK has ended a 50-year dispute with Mauritius by handing over sovereignty of the Chagos Islands. There's been an ongoing disagreement over the islands after locals there were forced to leave their homes in the 70s to make way for a top-secret British military base. As part of this deal, the UK will continue to operate the base. Joining me now to talk about this is the Mauritian Foreign Minister, Maneesh Gobin. Mr Gobin, thanks so much for joining us. How did this deal finally come about and why now?
Well, today is a very historic day. This dispute dates back to 1965, so more than 50 years. And I think today is historic because it brings to an end this dispute. It augurs well for the two sovereign nations signatory to today's joint political statement. I wish to say, it is historic for three main reasons. First, I think it's historic for respect for international law and international diplomacy. It is through the respect for international law and international diplomacy that we are here today. Second, I think it's historic because this joint political statement signed today addresses historic wrongs, in particular the wrongs to the Chagosians. And third, it also recognizes the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity of nations.
Let's address some of those issues because you have struck a deal with the UK government for the base on Diego Garcia to continue to be operated by the UK and the US, I think, for another 99 years. Are they paying for that privilege?
The joint political statement today recognizes the need to pursue a stable region in terms of peace and security, to pursue efforts for a stable region in terms of peace and security in the Indian Ocean, but also globally. This is why the joint political statement recognizes the need to continue the operations of the joint US-UK base in Diego Garcia. Now, today what was signed was a joint political statement. As you can imagine, the two sovereign nations will conclude a treaty which will contain the details of the principles contained in today's joint political statement.
Will you be effectively leasing Diego Garcia, though, to the UK government after gaining sovereignty of the islands?
It is a recognition of the need to maintain the operations of the base. This is how I will qualify it, and this is how I think both nations do qualify it.
When we talk about the diplomatic, the strategic importance of Diego Garcia, of course, other nations wouldn't mind having that base there themselves. Mauritius is very closely aligned with China. There's been a lot of Chinese investment in Mauritius. Did you keep Beijing abreast of these discussions?
Time and again, the question of China comes up again, particularly in a certain section of the press.
It's a valid question, though, isn't it? It's a valid question.
No, and it's quite unfortunate that this comes time and again on the forefront. The joint statement issued today recognizes the privileged parties to what has been signed today. First, the two sovereign nations signatory to the joint political agreement today, namely the UK and Mauritius. And we have also named two privileged partners who have been, I would say, important partners towards reaching today's agreement, namely the United States and India.
Mr Gobin, I have to ask about the Chagosian people themselves, many of whom are now living here in the UK, thousands, in fact, south of London. Are they now safe to go home? And in fact, many Chagosians don't feel Mauritian either, as much as feeling British. So will there be a possibility for them to self-determine their futures?
Today's agreement signed between the two sovereign nations of UK and Mauritius recognizes and addresses the historic wrong which the Chagosians have been through for a number of years, in fact, more than 50 years. Now, further to today's joint agreement, the details will be penned down, put in a treaty, and as the principles recognized in today's agreement highlight, there is a long-term plan recognized by both nations in favor of the Chagosians.
Maneesh Gobin, really appreciate your time on Sky News this evening. Thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Thank you.